Well, hello, how y'all doing today? It's me, Mr. Maccabee, with Home and Tidbits. Tonight, we're gonna be talking about just the bits. Just the bits. No tid, no home, none of that. Only the bits. Please keep that in mind. Now, I want tonight to be nice and short, because I'm tired of doing long. But, somebody else is going to be very tired of long things coming up here. You'll understand that in a minute. So, without further ado, let's get to the bits. Tonight, we're going to cover the story of the beautiful man Muhammad. What a lovely, peaceful loving man. Praise Allah, praise Allah. Just a man that never once would have thought of laying his hands in an evil way on a woman or a child. Never once thought about taking a child and back and showing them peace and love. Now, but I've harped on those bits enough. We're going to tell you the very exciting story. I got my little cue cards here, just a piece of mail. But we're going to tell you the lovely story of Muhammad and Abdullah, whatever it is. They're all camel jockeys. So, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Porky, Mr. Child Rapist himself was going through the desert with his buddy Abdullah. And they're walking along and chatting back and forth about which child they liked in the village the most and what kind of makeup they're going to put on the T-boy. And well, after they were done talking about all those exciting things, night began to fall. So they said, we're going to make some camp. We're going to have a lovely little dinner and pitch up a tent and maybe eat a camel. I don't know what they do. They do something to the camels and the goats. You have to tell me what to do to the goats. I don't know. I've only heard the rumors, and I don't believe the rumors. Maybe one of my lovely followers of the Nation of Islam could comment and tell me what they do to the goats and the T-boys and the small chitlins. So anyways, after they had a delicious meal of pork loin and bacon, they were tired for the evening. Okay, this is Mr. Maccabee telling you, they were tired. And when they were tired, that dastardly Muhammad, he told Mr. Abdullah, whatever the fuck it is, it's all pig to me. I'm gonna draw a line in the sand right here, or maybe a circle, I don't know. It was a line or a circle, pointing as he drew something in the sand. And he said, Mr. Abdullah, you stay right here, because if you don't, you're gonna get hurt. Okay, Mr. Abdullah, that's it. You stay right behind this line. So Mr. Abdullah said, oh, praise be upon him, peace and love, praise Allah, Muhammad Porky. I'll listen to you, I'll stay behind the line. And here's where our story gets real interesting. Now, I want to remind you that all over the litter box countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Palestine, well, not Palestine, that's not a real place, but, for right now it is. Your Palestines, your Irans, your Pakistans, all those places, all those giant litter boxes. It's not okay to be a schmomosexual. You get tossed off roofs, they kill you, they do all sorts of terrible things to you. It's not a good place to be part of the LGBT mafia. So, just keep that in mind for the story I'm about to tell you. So, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Porky, he starts walking off, and according to Abdullah, it was about a stone's throw away. So Mr. Abdullah had a front row seat to what I'm about to tell you here, so we can believe what he's saying. Remember, peace and love, praise Allah. No LGBT nonsense in this community, okay? The Muslims are not a fan of the limp wrist stuff. They don't like people floating around. They stone them. Trying to think of a YouTube friendly word, but help them to remove their heads from the bodies because they decided to be a limp wrist and wear their earring on the wrong side. How dare they? Now, personally, I don't agree with the limp wrist stuff, but live and let live. You do you, but just keep it away from me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see you protest. So that's how I feel about it. But these people, nope. You don't get your protests. You don't get your marriages. You don't get your whole hand hold, you don't get your earrings, you don't get your truck stop bathrooms, you don't get your back alley skiing. You don't get none of that. You just get right to the stone pit, right to the head removal tool. So anyways, Mr. Muhammad walks off by a stone's throw into the night. And Sir Abdullah, he's sitting here after he had a delicious meal of pork. And he's watching, and all of a sudden, a whole group of strong, tall, thick men come out of the desert. These gentlemen are called the Al-Zut. The Al-Zut. They're called the Al-Zut. And these men, they say, "How you doing, Mr. Muhammad Porky? You having a good evening?" And then they proceeded to conduct business. They did a couple of handshake deals, and all of a sudden, the whole land was advanced in riches and greenery and trades and spices, and women were equal to men, and everybody only lived a nuclear family lifestyle, and they created the car, the computer, the video games, all because of this handshake deal. It really cemented the Middle East as a powerhouse in the world. I can't say that with a straight face. No, what really happened, I know, hard to believe, that people in 2026 are still raping children, forcing women to put potato sacks on their head, aren't the pinnacle of technology and advancement. So anyways, what really happened was they proceeded to ride Muhammad one after the other. Just so they did that, one after the other, all night long. All night. And now what's real interesting here, where's my word? I'm probably butchering this, but yakabun, whatever the hell it is, it's the word that means road. As in, like, ride a horse, ride a camel, jockey a camel. But apparently, and more traditionally, it actually means mount or copulation. So we got these Al-Zut, who were more than likely modern-day Pakistanis. Tall, dark. Muhammad described them as men that had, I apologize, penises that never tired. They never got tired. They never went soft. And these guys were riding them all night long, all night. And apparently, when they were getting a little bored of Mr. Muhammad, they started to go over and try to bother Abdullah. But apparently Abdullah was safe behind the circle. He clenched up and he said, "Oh, not me." So they went back to Muhammad and they gave him a good old time again. It was a very LGBT friendly gangbang. Very interesting. So Muhammad, being the heterosexual man that he is, he's taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it. Not like a cuck would, not like a bottom, not like a submissive bitch. Nope, he's a man. He's a very straight man. So after they wrapped up, you see, Muhammad starts limping back like this. I don't know why he's limping. And he walks up to Abdullah, and well, wouldn't you know what he says as he's limping back in pain? "They wounded me pleasurably all night long." So what happened, you think after a man had been wounded all night like that, he might, tear his eyeballs out, solder his rear end closed. He might do something. Nope. Mr. Muhammad Porky did quite potentially the most gayest thing on the planet and proceeded to lay his head in Abdullah's lap and go to sleep. Isn't that interesting? The Prophet Muhammad, praise be upon him, peace and love, praise Allah. He had several rendezvous in the desert with these modern day Pakistanis with genitalia that never tire. They're big and black. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Currently, you get thrown from a roof for being a little interested. Or they cut you certain things off, or they just unalive you. But as long as you're the Prophet Muhammad with this silly ass religion, You can do whatever you want. Do as I say, not as I do. Which leads me to the final portion of tonight. I'm sure we're all very interested as, hold on one second. Sir, we're all very interested as to how the potato sack came around. I'm talking, and by the way, I do apologize. I'm 3D printing a gift for somebody. That's the home in the bits. No, the tid. That's the home in the tid. We ain't gonna worry about that. That's something else. So I do apologize for the noises in the background. So, this brings us, I told you I'd get to it at some point. You're on my time, baby doll. So, this is the story of the potato sack, the hijab. So, when I went into this, I was under the impression that it was that Muhammad Mr. Porky, after eating a bacon BLT, was saying, oh God, it's so promiscuous to be showing all your body parts and not wearing a potato sack with a sheet wrapped around you. So how dare you want to be pure? You want to be loved by God and be a pure woman? You put that potato sack on, that hijab on. Nope, that's not what happened. So apparently Muhammad had this friend of his, that well, he just kept what he did was he kept telling Muhammad, you know, you got some wonderful sexy women here. Let me get a turn. And Muhammad, being the strong, straight man that he is, he said, no. These are my women. You go buy your own women. You go get your own children to buy. And he just said, okay. But he kept hanging around. He kept going in, insulting Muhammad's wife. And finally the day came where, I don't know the guy's name. I forget. It ain't that important. It's a whole goddamn silly circus of a religion. Basically, this guy goes, oh, I'm having a prophet moment. And I think because I can't control myself and I want to bend your eyes over, they need to put potato sacks on the heads so I can't see how attractive they is. Because if I go around, look at these beautiful 9-year-old girls playing with the Barbie dolls. I just can't control myself. You women ain't doing enough. You get fat, you're doing this, you're doing that, and I just can't control myself. So the good Lord, Allah, is telling me right here, right now, that you got to put a potato sack on your head and you got to get a sheet and wrap that sheet over yourself. That's it. That's what Allah's telling me. He's telling me potato sacks and bed sheets. And all of a sudden, Muhammad, Mr. Porky, finishing up a nice stuffed pork chop. He said, oh my God, I'm getting a headache. You know what? That's right. Allah's telling me right now that that's exactly what's got to happen. You guys got to put potato sacks on your head and wrap yourself in bed sheets. You silly little gooses. So, alright, look, I really want to tell you I'm exaggerating to be an asshole. I'm not. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not exaggerating. That's how it happened. How do any of you take this seriously? Come on, what are we doing here, people? How do you take this seriously? Dude's getting gang rolled in the desert by a bunch of Pakistanis, and then that somehow equates to no homosexuality. I forget it. So that all of a sudden equates to not being queer. We can throw queers off roofs somehow. That's okay. But the guy that we literally unalive people en masse for can do it all he wants. Dude's throwing potato sacks over women's heads. I want this to be short, so I'm not even going to tell you about the angel Gabriel and him, but that's a real interest. You know what we are going to, I'm going to real fast. All right. They don't like dogs because whenever the angel Gabriel would come to have a nightly discussion with Muhammad, the dog would bark and that would scare off Gabriel. Couldn't have that. With Gabriel needs to come and have a nightly discussion with the pokey prophet Muhammad. Praise be upon him. Allah, praise be upon him. Go great children. So you know what Muhammad did? He said, get rid of them dogs. I know you're only 9 and 10 years old and you love dogs, and dogs are great and they're probably helping you keep your sanity from all the evil acts I'm doing to your behind, but get rid of them dogs. They scaring my friend that comes at night. We lock each other in a room for 3 hours and make a lot of noises. Get rid of them. Go. And that's why they don't like dogs. This religion is ridiculous. It's violent and ridiculous. Enough is enough, people. Come on. Come on. Enough is enough. This is fucking silly. Absolutely silly. By the way, speaking of silly, the United States trained a bunch of dog-sniffing dogs, of course, they're all dog sniffers, bomb-sniffing dogs, and gifted them to these people. They just abused the dogs. So next time you're out in protest screaming, free the Palestine, the state that doesn't exist, remember that, as you claim to love animals as much as you do, that they are literally just killing unalive dogs that the U.S. government spent probably millions of dollars to train and give to them. Those dogs went to a great home. Lord knows what they was doing to them dogs before they unalived them. Probably was exactly what they do to the goats. But I hope you had a lovely evening tonight. I'm sorry that it was so short, but I just wanted to get something out there, and I was doing a little reading online and saw this, and it made me laugh. Like a lot of this stuff does. It's real silly. It's real evil. It's really, really evil. But it made me laugh. So, I hope, I'm tripping over things. Hope you all have a lovely evening, and please remember, please remember that Palestine is not a real place, and that the Prophet Muhammad is a homosexual man that unalives women for not putting a potato sack on the head, and has very inappropriate relationships with children. Praise Allah, peace be upon him.